Hello, it happens to be the 2nd of October, 2025, I believe. We know it's Thursday because yesterday was garbage day.
That's right.
Anyway, welcome to our channel. You are the most important audience in the world, the DEMONcrats. The DEMONcrats have come apart.
They're having a come apart.
They've been exposed. Lucifer calls the DEMONcrats workers of light, his own. The DEMONcrats are his own workers. That's why they're spending $5,000 a day now in Yountville, about 10 miles north of Napa, California, on your nickel. They're buying wine on your nickel while they're laying you off. They're buying sweet buns on your nickel while they're laying you off. These are Lucifer's finest. The devil tells all, I'm in his camp. God sent me into the enemy's camp. And let me tell you, he exposes all his Democrats as demons. Oh, it's quite the interesting camp to be in. Anyway, a little bit from our advertiser. My A1C was 7.9, and I'll tell you why it was a little bit high. Because I didn't routinely take my Gymnema. Of all the products I've ever tried, the berberine is the best, but it destroys your liver and kidney. The Gymnema, without the stems and seeds, no stems, no seeds that you don't need. This Gymnema is really good. I'm not going to continue the song either you know it or not. Anyway, this Gymnema has no stems and no seeds. So when I use 3 of these Gymnema, my blood sugar goes normal, stable as the day is long. So my A1C will probably be somewhere around 7.1 if I routinely take this 3 a day. Now, eventually, after about a year, you got to back off for a month. Go to the cinnamon, go to the takedown. But the takedown has Gymnema in it, so I go to the raw cinnamon. But this is only available, get the tea, by the way. I've tried all kinds of other Gymnemas. It doesn't work, only get the tea. Okay, on to the news. I wanted to let you know that because they're going to start feeding you crap. And here are the next 3 attempts on Trump. He doesn't seem to care, so what the heck. Anyway, a little bit about our power bill. We're paying $3,000 a year for property tax so we can support affirmative action. We paid $400 on our power bill, and out of that $400, 145 was for power, for water, and for garbage, and 265 was for taxes. And out of that 265, 125 was for property taxes. All of it went to the city. They're paying utility taxes, but they're not a utility. They're a private corporation, so they're pocketing the money. The accountant went through this with me. He says all of these are illegal. So the feds are going to have to come in and arrest the governor. And if they don't, it's just going to continue the illegal activities of the state. Don't expect the FBI to do it. They're the world terrorist organization. Anyway, tomorrow the layoffs begin. Trump has told we've lost 230,000 federal employees. Another 112,000 are quitting or quit the day that the layoffs began. And 750,000 are furloughed. Now, those are mostly illegal aliens, so Trump has offered them, because in previous articles we showed you over the last 4 years, all the people hired by the feds were illegal aliens. Schools, states, counties, cities, all illegal aliens. We've shown you that. Well, Trump is giving 750,000 federal employees the chance to take a buyout and go home. Because if they sell their home that they sucked off us to get, if they sell all their property and go back to their home country, they can live like kings for the rest of their life. So he's now ready to lay off 750,000 more that were temporarily furloughed, because everything just seems to be running dandy cakes. Now, the military gets a monthly paycheck. I was in the military. I was in the National Guard. I was in the reserves. Because there were 3 months there were 6 months when I was in the National Guard and was not an officer. When I became an officer, I instantly, again, began serving in the federal government. All officers in the National Guard who've been federalized serve as a reserve Army officer. There are almost no National Guard officers. So I've had National Guard paychecks, Army Reserve paychecks, and U.S. Army paychecks. And I always get paid around the first of the month. So for them to say that they're not going to get a mid-month salary is that somebody who runs the pay system in the Army needs to be jailed and beaten. because somehow he's violated the United States Army Regulation 1-1, forming the U.S. Army, paying them a monthly paycheck. I know. I didn't do anything in the regular Army. I decided I wouldn't date and wouldn't drink, so I read the Army regulations every night. Kind of boring, but, you know, I didn't get a girl pregnant. I saved a lot of money and went back into forestry and got my master's after that. So now Trump is offering 750,000, mostly illegal aliens, a huge buyout so they can go home rich. And many of them are not taking it. They think, Trump can't fire me, the courts will protect me. A la contraire. The Supreme Court ruled that the firing of the 750,000 people is legal. So our government will go from 2.3 million people to 1 million, and all the contracts are gone. And this is incredible. If you go to Nancy Drew, Honeybee, you'll notice the halls of Congress are empty. So there's nobody voting on anything. It's all being done at Fort McPherson, the 20 or so people there. The rest of them, the Democrats, are in Yountville spending your money. $5,000 a day for Democratic congressmen on your nickel as they lay you off. Apparently, Republican Madeline Dean, and it was caught on camera, confronted Speaker Mike Johnson. Jane, you want to read what Trump says, or you want me to read that?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Trump was addressing
the generals.
Well, yes, he was. He was addressing the military brass at Quantico.
Half of them were too fat to serve, so they're out.
So he told the generals, he says, we're going to be greater than we were ever before. We're bringing back a focus on fitness, ability, character, and strength. And that's because the purpose of the American military is not to protect anyone's feelings. It's to protect our republic. And it's the republic that we dearly love. It's to protect our country. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom, and we will be a fighting and winning machine. Under my budget, we will be expanding the U.S. Navy by at least 19 ships next year, including submarines, destroyers, assault ships, and more. History has shown that military supremacy has never been simply a matter of money or manpower. At the end of the day, it is the culture, the spirit of our military that truly sets us apart from any other nation. Our ultimate strength will always come from the fierce people, those brilliant people with such pride and unbending will, and the traditions of excellence that have made us the most unstoppable force ever to walk the face of the earth, and that's what we are.
He also said, we got away from it.
That made him mad.
We got away from it a long time.
Yeah.
But now merit is back within the federal government and within the War Department. No more DEI, no more. You know, I served under a lieutenant colonel who wore a Save the Whales thing on a uniform, and they couldn't order her to take the political symbols off her uniform because she was a woman. They drummed her out because she wasn't part of the satanic cult. She wasn't a Sister of Light or the Knights in Black Satin who sacrificed the children on a monthly basis, so they eventually drummed her out. But I kind of liked her as a person. I mean, I got along with her really well, but she was snobby because every time she applied for a promotion, she got it. These women and these minorities make general instantly, and they don't know. I mean,
Not a lot of medals.
Well, the generals are Satanists, and they get one medal every 6 months. That's why their chest is full. I tried to get people medals for doing incredible things, and they said, well, he's not a part of the satanic group. Couldn't do it.
So who can argue, who in the American public can argue with what President Trump presented
We're going
to
to make
the
America
generals?
great again.
What is there to argue about that?
Well, Dean went hysterical.
Yes, she did.
She absolutely went hysterical. The Democrats are going hysterical. I'm listening to George Stephanopoulos, who the Lucifer Trust calls the never-aging demon. He is a demon from hell. Whatever comes out of Stephanopoulos' mouth is straight from the devil. You know, the two horns, the little symbol like this. There, the man with the breasts, with the prepping the children to worship him. That's the devil. And Stephanopoulos is one of their minions, a walking, talking, never-aging demon who's been around since Reagan, I believe.
He's been around for a long time.
And he seems to be
They bring him out when they're in trouble.
Well, they're in trouble now because everybody's realizing Democrat stands for DEMONcrat. The Lucifer Trust calls all of the demons their own. I know, I get the newsletter. I know who works for the right and who works for the wrong. The workers of light. The monthly meeting at the full moon to meditate. The new moon. Sagittarius. The age of Aquarius. It's all straight from the pits of HE double hockey sticks. These people have set up a supply base in Florida to bring supplies down to a base in Brazil and then down to the islands off of the Falkland Islands to then supply the Nazis in New Swaziland. These Democrats have done that. What have they done that for? They've done that all in the name of National Socialism, which is why they're supporting Ukraine, which is why the Wall Street Journal is lying about it. You might as well just say, that is Lucifer. They talk about the significance of the swastika for Lucifer. They talk about the significance of the support of the Ukraine so we can send cruise missiles there with a range of 1,500 miles and use our missiles and our GPS tracking systems to blow things up all across Russia. And this is what was said in the hidden hallways of Fort McPherson, Atlanta, Georgia, because there ain't nobody in the halls of Congress. And the Democrats are gone. So for this woman to stay behind and say this to Johnson...
Well, there must be others that feel the same way.
There's 2 or 3 Democrats who are going to raise hell who didn't go to Yountville and aren't spending $5,000 a day. Plus $50,000 to $100,000 to get there and $100,000 to get back. So 49 congressmen, $1 million a piece. There's $50 million of your taxpayer money that's going to wine women. And don't tell me they don't have women. I was a junior officer as a lieutenant going to arms deals. They had lots of women. Oh, and you ought to go to the international arms deals or where these Democrats go. Man, there are lots of women and male men of the night. But Dean said, oh, the president is unhinged. He's unwell. What are you? So to make America great again and start promoting based on merit is, he's unhinged. He's unhinged. We can't have people promoted because they're good. No, 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 no. This is the screaming demons. That's what the Lucifer Trust calls it. The screaming demons. Johnson said, a lot of folks on your side are too. I don't control Enchikara. Oh my God, please, that performance in front of our generals. He said, I didn't see it. Yeah. He said, I didn't see it. He was supposedly in the halls of Congress at Fort McPherson because Congress doesn't exist. She said, that's so dangerous. You know, I serve on foreign affairs and appropriations. This is a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing. Johnson said, I just left you have a president who's unwell. And then some of the other Democrats, what the devil calls the screaming demons. Oh, call out the 25th Amendment. Call out the 25th Amendment. You know why we couldn't use the 25th Amendment under Biden, Jane? Because we had 18 doubles. We couldn't, no, I'm serious. We couldn't get rid of a Biden double. One of them was this tall. He stood up at the podium. The podium's this high. The other one was this tall. Then there was the one who came out and his jacket was open and he was black underneath. He had gloves on, he had the mask on, and he was a black man imitating Biden. And then under Obama, there was the one with a big scar across his head. And then Obama number 3 had a...
Well, there's one that looked Oriental.
Yeah, and then there's my famous Biden. Hello there, old chaps. With an English accent. He gave a speech with an English accent. And now the new Obama, the white-haired Obama. Well, how come last week he didn't have any white hair? And this week he's got all white hair. You think maybe you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes? You think maybe somebody's lying? You need to focus on your health and your wealth. And right now we're talking about health. And if you got any problem with sugar, which by the way is a waste product for a plant. So they're processing sugar and everybody loves sugar. I highly suggest Gymnema. It is the least expensive way and the best way to lower your blood, for me, to lower my blood sugar level. And all the tests from the National Institutes of Health say the same thing. Gymnema, without the seeds and without the stems, no stems, no seeds that you don't need. Get the tea, Gymnema is bad. Gymnema. I know, that's a dope commercial. Anyway, the Democrats are coming unhinged. As for the 4 members of the military that shot up a church and shot up this and shot up that, they all seem to have ties to military intelligence, CIA, Manchurian candidates. So as the CIA releases the Manchurian candidates and claims they're all left-wing libtards, because what they do is it's like the head of the State Department, Marco Rubio. When he was running against Trump in 2014, he was a gay man in a swimming pool, bubble bath with 50 other men in a gay orgy. Now he's got a family. He's always been straight and has a family. They just make things up because they think you're stupid. And in many cases, if you watch the TV, you'll never join the fight. If you have a TV in your home, you'll never join the fight. So what we're trying to do with everything we do is help you, because as things unwind in D.C., so does the dollar. Food, water, toilet paper, ammunition, heat, communication, gold and silver, and medicines. Food, water with filters, because they're dumping more poisons in our water. Trump hasn't stopped that yet. Food, water, toilet paper. Go to the grocery store. Food, water, toilet paper, ammunition, heat. And ammunition, I mean to be able to defend yourself. Heat for your home, maybe an alternate wood stove, maybe an alternate gas burner. Food, water, toilet paper, ammunition, heat, communications, gold and silver, and medicines, i.e. Gymnema. If your blood sugars are stable, the problems you have are pretty minimal, as long as you stay away from drugs like Advil, liquid Advil, and ibuprofen. Anyway, so the Democrats have come unglued. You're going to see more and more
Screaming.
And like the Lucifer Trust calls them, the screaming, unhinged demons that support this. The screaming, unhinged demons. They're called the workers of life. And your pickle wisdom for the day is, finally from Immunicist, be positive it makes a big dill.
It makes a big deal.
Have a sweet pickle kind of day.
Cute.
She's only got so many, and then we're out.
I know, she's going to have to... I know, well, she worked hard on those.
She worked very hard on those. I've never seen anything like
I
that.
know it.
When she came up with a new Immunicist, I'm like, wow. And boy, does it make Gymnema stretch from get to tea. Oh, my God. That Gymnema is fabulous. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.